Hi folks, hope you're okay today. It's good to see you, and I just want to talk about Peter Singer, and this information, just a little quote here from Peter May, who served in the Church of England Synod, and is the chair of the UCCF Trust Board. And he says, Peter Singer is arguably the most famous and influential modern philosopher, offering the most radical challenge to traditional Judeo-Christian values. It has been said of him that as an original and influential moral pioneer, he surpasses any philosopher since Bertrand Russell. On his website, he says, "My work is based on the assumption that clarity, consistency in our moral thinking is likely in the long run to lead us to hold better views on ethical issues." He was born in Australia in 1946. Peter Singer is the son of Jews who fled from Vienna to avoid persecution from the Nazis. Now, the article that I just read from that quote is "Life After God, The Ethics of Peter Singer" by Peter May on www.bethinking.org. Morality, Life After God. Excuse me. So that's the article. I'll link to it so you can actually read it. Excuse me. I just want to make one or two things. First of all, Peter Singer, when he's critiquing Christianity, doesn't know hardly anything about Christianity. He really has hardly any understanding of the main Christian tenets. He strawmans Christianity when he attacks it. In other words, he sets up issues in Christianity that are not there. For example, Christianity is about salvation by works, which true Christianity is not. It's about grace. So he sets up a straw man when he attacks Christianity. Some other issues, he doesn't understand the ministry of Christ very well, and he also contradicts himself. He rejects Christianity, then in his work he then goes on to recognize that actually the morals of Christ are far superior than what he could actually come up with himself, and he actually acknowledged that he cannot better Christ's teaching about the golden rule. So that's basically he's very weak in theological and historical reflection when it comes to historical Jesus studies. Secondly, his ethics are contradictory. Basically, in his ethics, he gives the idea of that animals should be on the same level as human beings, and that just as you have racism, you can have speciesism where you can discriminate towards animals. This kind of ethics then leads him to surmise that there is no reason why you can't have sex with an animal. At the same time, if he levels this issue concerning animals and humans, he's inconsistent because he doesn't apply that same kind of morality to children. So his argument that so long as it doesn't harm anybody, it's okay. So therefore, if an animal, a dog or whatever, is complicit in the sexual act, then it's okay. But the same argument can be used of a child. If a child is complicit in the sexual act and there's no harm, then it's okay. But obviously it's not okay. We know that that's immoral, and it's immoral because adults are responsible and should be responsible, and not to take advantage of those who are weaker or frailer. The whole attack of Peter Singer concerning Christianity and ethics is this idea that we're made in the image of God. He completely cuts that down and said, no, we're not. We're all on the same level, whether it be animals or human beings or whatever. So this key that we are made in the image is of highly significance, because if we're just products of matter, if we're just products of nature, then we cannot say that that has value, because nature doesn't allow us to say that. There's nothing in nature that gives us any kind of understanding of what value is. Value is a metaphysical, philosophical, theological term. And in Christianity, we have value because it's in relationship to God. We're made in His image. That's why we have value. So without that philosophical underpinning, we won't have value. And so we find that in his ethics of abortion, the fetus doesn't have value. Anything that is not functioning properly does not have value, so that he has a hierarchy of value. So if you are more intelligent, if you are able to function well, then you have value. But if you are not able to function well, maybe you've lost your memory, maybe you've lost your physical ability, whatever, then you're not as valuable as someone who's more functional. And so there's a grade in his understanding of value which is arbitrary in a sense. There's no intellectual foundation for it, but has catastrophic consequences, because that means the individuals who are not functioning properly are not as valuable as those are, and that leads to euthanasia, it leads to encouraging suicide, it leads to even more early abortion, etc. It's catastrophic, evil kind of ethics. So basically, I would say that his ethics is absolutely deplorable. Intellectually has no foundation, philosophically inept, and he certainly doesn't, to my mind, he doesn't deserve the accolade of being one of the great philosophers of our time. All this altruistic ethics that the atheist and this kind of guy, philosopher, pump out, everybody knows in the academic philosophical world, every academic and philosopher of any repute, of any note, will know that this kind of ethical system that Peter Singer builds from evolutionary psychology and all the rest of it, and philosophical reflection, is pseudoscience. It's not actually rooted in any real objective evidence at all. And that's why most academic philosophers, even the greatest academic philosophers, will not touch this kind of thing with a barge pole, because it's based on this. It's based on the fanatical evolutionary ethics of Dawkins, where they try to apply altruism and ideas of altruism to animals and then build an ethic for that for human beings. This kind of way of doing things is seen by the academic philosophers as not to be taken seriously, because what tends to happen is your political views are often read into your evolutionary psychology. So a lot of evolutionary altruism psychology ethics ends up either being right-wing or left-wing politically, which really means the particular scientist or philosopher or who's using this evolutionary altruistic kind of ethical development, basically you read into your political agenda within the evidence that you're trying to produce. So that's why top academic philosophers don't take this kind of stuff seriously. So that's just an academic critique of Peter Singer. Now, I've been doing this kind of stuff for years. The atheists will cause controversies, personal issues and controversies, to try and stop you engaging with this kind of scholarship that I've just brought to you right now. And I would ask the atheist community, if they believe in free speech, to leave me alone and let me get on with these scholarly critiques, okay? And let me find people who are academics who want scholarly debate and discussion. And if you feel that you found this critique a help or an interest, please leave your comments and debate and discuss. I would ask the 4 atheist groups that I've blacklisted to leave me alone, and all the people that comment under their videos to leave this video alone. This video is purely for those who want academic debate and discussion. Please put your comments under here and I'll try to respond to you in the next few days, I will engage with you under this video. I'm a bit dyspraxic and dyslexic, but I will try to engage with you under the video, or give you a video response if you make some really good comments and arguments. Okay. So thank you for listening, and take care. I hope this is a blessing to you, and I'll leave you an article that will give you some handle on this subject. Thank you. Take care.